Let her cook. Y'all stop being petty. Stop being catty, because she like a double-edged sword. She cutting tail left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it. Let's go, Caitlin.
Have you heard? Caitlin Clark is finally making big moves after the playoffs, and not everyone's thrilled about it. The WNBA and ESPN? Let's just say they're not too pleased. Watching her embrace her values seems to really be getting under their skin.
Let me say this. I love the point that you made about Caitlin Clark in terms of the BS that she had to deal with off the court. We got to remember she's been box office. She was the main attraction, and there were so many storylines that's been associated with her. Most recently, the whole thing with her and Cheryl Swoops, even though it really wasn't her. It was Cheryl Swoops and all this. Every time you turned around, there was something that she had to deal with.
After wrapping up her debut WNBA season, Caitlin Clark has packed her bags and headed to Europe for the off-season. And let's just say ESPN isn't taking it well. They are reacting like spoiled children, acting as if they have some sort of claim over her. But after giving the league's biggest star the cold shoulder for so long, ESPN doesn't get a say in whether she stays or goes. Where was their support when Clark was carrying the weight of massive expectations and still dominating on the court? They stayed silent when she needed backing the most. Now that she's stepped away, they are scrambling. And with her gone, so are many of the viewers. The big question now, is Clark ditching the WNBA to play for a European league? While countless rumors and clickbait headlines are flying around on social media, most of them can't be trusted. What we can confirm is this: Caitlin Clark has already left the US for what's being called a 200-day European vacation. But is she planning to suit up for a team overseas? Here's what we know so far.
Now, with that news, we've already heard from Caitlin Clark that she will not be playing overseas. She won't be playing in any organized basketball organization. She actually said that she is going to become a professional golfer during this offseason.
That's right. Caitlin Clark is gearing up to kick off a professional golf career during her offseason. After dominating the basketball court and making waves in the WNBA, she's now setting her sights on the golf course, ready to make her mark and chase new records. And for those who may not know, Caitlin Clark was also a standout soccer player during her college years, proving her talent goes far beyond just the basketball court. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
Her highlights from one game where she scored 3 goals. That's right, 3 goals in one game. And I know these highlights are far from HD 4K, so I zoomed in after each goal so you could get a closer look. Caitlin does such a good job of staying on sides here, and then the second that pass goes through, she puts on the afterburners and then hammers it home low right.
This is what truly sets Caitlin Clark apart from the rest of the WNBA. She's a multi-talented athlete with the ability to excel in any sport she takes on. Now that she's headed overseas, ESPN and the WNBA are finally waking up to the fact that she was their golden goose. But it's too little, too late. She's already taken off, and that ship has sailed across the Atlantic.
Instead of owning the fact that what really was their objective and what really was their agenda is that they resented the fact that this young lady who came into the league, took it by storm, and drew in a level of attention that they weren't able to draw.
Considering how poorly Caitlin Clark has been treated this year by both the WNBA and some of her rivals, the real question now is, should she stay, or follow in the footsteps of many of her teammates and head to a stronger, more supportive league overseas?
But now during this offseason, the players are already moving around. So a couple players have already announced that they are going overseas. We have Kelsey Mitchell going to play in China, Nalissa Smith also playing in China, and Nalissa Smith is one where there was a big question mark around her if she would be returning to the Indiana Fever, but she'll be going to play in China, and Temi Fagbenle will be playing in Turkey.
Although Caitlin Clark has stated she's not signing with any European league and may return to the WNBA next season, the real question remains, should she stay in the WNBA and risk further damage to her fitness, reputation, and long-term potential?
None of it addresses my point. My point is, she's the golden goose. You have been clamoring for attention. You've been clamoring for more cachet, fair and equitable treatment, chartered jets, weight room facilities, dollars, marketing opportunities, etc., etc., etc.
No matter where Caitlin Clark goes, her loyal fan base will follow. So wouldn't it make more sense for her to join a league that truly values her talent? European leagues not only offer more competitive salaries and generous bonuses, but also provide better overall playing conditions compared to the WNBA.
With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even return.
A growing number of players have already taken their talents overseas after becoming frustrated with how the WNBA is run. Take Gabby Williams, for instance. The Seattle Storm forward openly criticized the league for its low salaries and lack of promotional opportunities. Rather than addressing her concerns, the WNBA leadership chose to turn a blind eye. Gabby even went as far as to call out the WNBA commissioner, exposing misleading claims made by the league's top brass.
During her exit interview, Storm player Gabby Williams warned the WNBA, if you want to keep international players, you need to do better. So here's what she had to say.
The W thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. Our commissioner talked about us being able to, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, team marketing agreements and legal marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here. And that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money and whatever, and then teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just, the WNBA, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business. It's how it works.
After her concerns were dismissed, Gabby Williams had no choice but to seek better opportunities elsewhere. In 2024, she signed a deal with Turkish powerhouse Fenerbahçe SK. This situation highlights a deeper issue within the WNBA, a lack of genuine care for its players. Whether it's low salaries, unchecked fouls, or blatant disrespect from other players, the league has repeatedly failed to protect and support its own talent.
And specifically, a lot of these casual fans who have come into watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, who plays a smooth style of basketball, who shoots from really far away, who makes great passes, who handles the ball well. People are coming for a style of play that is similar to that. They are not looking for post players to be posting up on one another, drop step, one step to the basket, cheap shots, fouls, slow style of basketball. They want to see a run and gun game, and I think that is the most exciting way to watch a women's game.
Caitlin Clark has arguably become the biggest victim of the WNBA's failure to protect its own players. She has faced relentless disrespect, mockery, and ridicule, particularly from jealous veterans, while enduring constant on-court abuse from her critics. A glaring example was the infamous eye poke incident, where Dijonai Carrington committed an obvious foul against Clark and then shamelessly celebrated it with her teammates during the game. The WNBA, instead of stepping in to uphold sportsmanship and fairness, remained silent, a passive bystander as the league's integrity was openly challenged. Angel Reese also took part in similar celebrations following aggressive fouls against Caitlin Clark. Yet again, the WNBA turned a blind eye, choosing not to take any disciplinary action, further reinforcing the perception that the league is unwilling to hold certain players accountable, even when sportsmanship is clearly compromised.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Where was the outrage then? ESPN remained completely silent. They didn't stand up for Caitlin Clark, nor did they hold her attackers accountable for their blatant and repeated abuse, despite the fact that she's arguably the most talented player the WNBA has seen in years.
There is no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark has had enough. She's not about to stay in a league that's treated her like a punching bag. Still skeptical? Just look at the sheer number of fouls committed against her this season. The stats speak for themselves.
That said, Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark.
Yes, you heard that right. Caitlin Clark, the clear Rookie of the Year, was on the receiving end of nearly 20% of all fouls during her debut WNBA season. That's roughly 1/5 of the league's total fouls. So the question is, why should she stay? It's no secret that the Indiana Fever's resurgence this season was largely thanks to Clark's performance. And had she not been injured during that crucial playoff match, there's a strong chance the Fever could have walked away with the win.
My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star.
The physical defense she endured and the constant fouling took a serious toll. Even Caitlin Clark admitted it herself, saying she felt like she was getting hammered out there.
She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said. That is what she said, okay? But to me, it's a bigger issue going on.
Before Caitlin Clark joined the team, they struggled to attract even a few thousand fans. But after her debut, everything changed. She was filling arenas, selling out stadiums, and completely transforming the landscape of the game.
But we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this. And instead of giving her credit, y'all tried to make it about, oh, y'all poo-pooing the old guard.
But has ESPN treated her like the star she truly is? Not at all. They completely missed the boat, and now they are scrambling to catch up and save face. Caitlin Clark has outplayed Hall of Famers like Diana Taurasi multiple times, proving she's not just a rising star. She's the real deal, the best of the best.
Since Caitlin Clark has arrived on the scene, record ratings, record revenue, everything that you could think, record attendance, everything. They've never had it before.
While Caitlin Clark was carrying the entire WNBA on her back, the league stood by and watched as she took hit after hit, dirty plays, no calls from the refs, and little to no protection. It was as if they didn't care that their biggest star was being targeted. But now that she's had enough and is choosing what's best for herself, suddenly they are paying attention. Too late. The loss is entirely theirs.
But when you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue. And that's not just an issue that the players have to work out. That is from top down. That goes to the commissioner level. Like, that is the level that needs to control these kinds of things.
Now, ESPN and the WNBA are in a frenzy, but they had their chance. They could have built the league around Caitlin Clark, made her its undeniable face. Instead, they let her slip away. Caitlin is done being used, and she deserves to move on to something bigger and better. ESPN can spin the narrative however they want, but the truth is clear. They let one of the greatest talents of this generation walk right out the door.
And those folks were very, very loud and conspicuous with their dissent towards things involving Caitlin Clark. When we pointed that out, we said why. What was the necessity for it? Because a rising tide lifts all boats.
That's right. Based on what we know so far, we likely won't be seeing Caitlin Clark back on the basketball court for a while. She's stepped away for the off-season and has traveled to Europe, reportedly for an extended break. While she hasn't officially joined a European league and has hinted at a possible return to the WNBA next season, there's no confirmed timeline for when she'll play again. For now, fans will have to wait, and so will the league that took her impact for granted.
Well, that's it, you guys. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were just kicked from the WNBA playoffs, and it looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled league.
Exactly. With Caitlin Clark stepping away, a drop in viewership was inevitable. She wasn't just a player. She was the driving force behind the surge in fan interest, ticket sales, and national attention. Her presence brought energy, excitement, and eyes to the WNBA like never before. Without her on the court, the buzz fades, and so does the audience.
But what will this mean for WNBA ratings? During Game 1 of the playoffs, the Fever had nearly 2 million viewers tuning in, while all the other games had around 400,000. Even the WNBA Countdown, which was aired before the Indiana Fever game, had more viewers than 2 of the series. With Caitlin's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in full swing now.
So, what's next? Will Caitlin Clark take her talents somewhere they'll truly be valued? And will ESPN and the WNBA finally take a hard look at where they went wrong? We want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, Thanks for watching.